Hey everyone, this is Riley Sullivan. Thanks for joining me here. I'm going to give you a quick tour of my solar system for my home here in Baltimore City, Maryland. A brief background on my solar journey. It actually started with career change several years ago, and I wanted to work in the field of sustainability or in some facet. So I worked for a local solar company, Lumina Solar, and and I decided gotta practice what I'm preaching here, and was renting at the time. Ended up buying a home last year in June, and so got the system installed this past May, producing in June of this year, 2021. And so yeah, really excited to do the quick tour and hopefully inspire some more people to look into a solar project for their own home. Okay everybody, I'm here in my backyard. It's a bit of a dreary day, but as you can see probably in the background a little bit here, here's the conduit for my solar system, and you can see just the edges of some solar panels right there. And yeah, the nice thing is you don't actually really have to see them. You just get to enjoy the benefits of them. I'll get a little bit closer. I'm going to flip the camera around, and so you can see a little bit. Okay, so let me back up slightly. And so I actually have 340 watt panels on the roof. What's unique about my project, I would say, over most people's that are probably going solar, is that I have a flat roof row house in the city. You can see my neighbors connected there. I'm an end unit, so no one on this side. You know, because I have parapets, which are where the wall extends beyond the party wall, that gave a structure that you could lay I-beams, and I had to, on one side, the solar installer had to build it up a little bit, but I was able to put aluminum I-beams across, and so actually the weight of the system is laying on the I-beams, which are then carried down through the walls, and so there's actually no weight, or probably very little weight, going on to the roof. Okay, great. So we're here at the combiner box, and if you just follow up this conduit to the roof, you'll see it's pretty tightly located by the downspout, which is nice, kind of hidden. Don't even really notice it. And then it hooks around and ties into the system, to the panels. And what's unique, or not necessarily unique or notable about my system, is there are microinverters on the panels. So that DC power that's being generated on the power levels then being converted to AC power and is coming down through the conduit into the combiner box. And then right next to the combiner box to the left here is a enclosed power shutoff switch. So essentially, you know, this is a safety precaution, and so you just pull on here and that would kill the power. And that's, you know, if there's a fire or something like that, the firemen and women can use that to power off the system. And then you'll see this conduit here kind of snakes back into the home, and let's just jump inside here real quick. So here it's coming in the house, and then here there's another shut off switch, and then it's going into the service panel. And then what we have here is, so you can see right on it, it says net meter. Before it was just a standard meter where, you know, is basically just charging the utility. BGE here was charging me for the consumption only, and now you will actually see, you know, there's arrows on here that indicate kind of which way the power is going. So on sunnier days when I'm not using as much power, I'll actually be feeding back to the grid. This sort of accounts for that. And Maryland is actually, we're fortunate there are net metering policies on the books that allow for the economics to make sense to get credit for that power that we put back on the grid. But yeah, so let's move to the front here.
Okay, so I just wanted to really briefly show you some of the system production here and highlight the very cool technology built in to the array. So here you have what the energy is being produced in hour blocks, and it has the date here and then the time. So this is, you know, any given day, obviously at night or the early morning. It's dark, and so you're not producing much. And then as you know, we get into 9 and over to, you know, later hours in the early afternoon, you see it turning, the cells turning blue, more brightly blue, and that's actually indicating more energy production. And these are, like I said, hour blocks. But it's just very cool. So this kind of indicates a pretty overcast day and maybe some clouds coming over here. But this is at the very granular level. You can see what your system is doing, how it's performing. And then, of course, if you want to look at, you know, at a you know, more zoomed out view, how your system is performing over the year or month, you can take a look at, you know, in June I produced 681.9 kilowatt hours, 1.1 megawatt hours, and then 982.8 in August. And I anticipate probably in the winter time it'll go down a little bit. But yeah, it's just a really great way, and it's just kind of fun to see how your system is performing, and then to sort of see how that impacts my electric bill. I actually have some gas appliances, which I'd like to switch some, or if not all, of those appliances to electric. But for now, I'm overproducing, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm planning on getting an electric vehicle with the EV charger. So this should be able to take up some of that excess energy. And yeah, it's just a great way to kind of see how your system's doing. And if there is, you know, an issue with a panel or something like that, you can get with your installer and take care of that. But otherwise, it's just a lot of fun to see how your system is producing energy.
Okay, great. So here I am in the front of the house. I just wanted to bring you out here because, as you can notice from the top, you can't actually see any of the panels. So again, it's nice, you can enjoy the benefits but not necessarily have to look at them. Not that I mind the way that they look, but it's just something that some people, you know, aesthetics are important. So for me, I don't even have to worry about that. But great, thank you so much for joining me on this tour. Yeah, I think going solar is one of many ways that we can be more sustainable, and I encourage you all as homeowners or just people living on Earth to explore those. Yeah, one thing I actually didn't mention that I'm doing is composting, which I also support, and I'm in the process of getting electric vehicles, so to use these panels to power, you know, fuel my vehicle, and then also rain barrels I think is a cool idea too. Well, thanks for joining me, and yeah, have a great day.